Hi, my name is Kevin Flores, and I'm here to talk about the local effects of human pollution on coral reefs. I'm here at Manzanita Lake to show you guys how local human pollution can seep into water and cause damage. Most people think coral bleaching is just caused by climate change and the effects of warming and rising oceans. But this does not capture the full story. Coral reefs suffer immensely from local human pollution, which can weaken reefs, cause them to have a harder time reproducing, cause them to have more diseases, and cause them to stress and bleach from that stress just solely from human pollutions. It also worsens the effects of climate change because they're weaker from the beginning and do not have a chance to reproduce or to try to survive once bleaching is gone. One of the clearest effects of local pollutions on this campus is this construction site. This construction site mirrors coastal developments which are happening around the whole world and especially near coral reefs. These developments and constructions cause sediment to go into the ocean and into waterways, as we can see here. This sediment is especially dangerous because of many reasons. First off, it buries coral reefs under sediment, so they're unable to eat and they die from lack of oxygen and lack of nutrients reaching them. Secondly, they cause an increase of disease. It goes from 2% up to 89% of coral disease when they're near coastal developments especially. Coastal developments often do not have clear environmental structures to make sure that sediment doesn't go into the oceans, and local governments, especially in developing nations, often prioritize these local developments like hotels and high-earning tourist industries and let them damage coastal areas near these oceans. There are many other local effects such as runoff. Runoff is caused by oil from cars, from pollutants, from pesticides, and from many other human industries, and from energy plants that are often located near waterways. Especially runoff and sewage can cause disease in coral reefs. They can cause them to have a hard time reproducing, and they can increase the effects of climate change. But something that me and you can do in a smaller local level is stopping plastics from entering the oceans. Microplastics have been found in 92% of coral reefs. That is an insane number, especially considering that many coral reefs are located far from human industry and human habitation, and they've been found with microplastics. These microplastics stop coral reefs from producing. They scratch coral reefs, which often leave them with wounds, which they are unable to heal from. They are unable to heal from these scratches correctly, and this leads to, if they get infected with diseases, which increase because of sediment and wastewater, they are 82% less likely to survive the disease when they have microplastics in them. So something we can do, here we can see, even in this lake, which has wildlife like ducks and geese, people leave plastic Chinese bags and plastic white locker, which also contains copper, and copper is especially dangerous because copper actually stops coral reefs from having any defenses against heat effective bleaching, so they're unable to protect against climate change at all if they endure copper pollution, which is especially important because there's copper in many technologies and car batteries, and copper industry is often located near water. Okay, here we can see what wildlife gets affected by local human pollutants. Even though this is not coral reef, this is endemic to other species like fish, and these geese eat fish, ducks eat fish. Look how beautiful and cute they are, and they're gonna die if we don't stop local human pollution. My call to action is to petition your local government and your local representatives to do things to save coral reefs. First, they should create new zoning laws and stricter environmental laws near oceans to stop coastal development, and to make sure that if there is coastal development, there's clear environmental regulations that they need to adhere to stop sediment from reaching coral reefs and the oceans. In developing countries, they need to create new laws and follow UN Charter to make sure to stop runoff, sewage, and wastewater from entering our beautiful oceans and destroying coral reefs. As college students and as individuals, there's a lot we can do too. we can make sure that when we clean our cars, when we use pesticides for our grass, when we change oil in our cars, that does not go into the sewage, and that does not go into our roads and into our nature, which ultimately that ends up in the ocean, and that ends up killing our beautiful coral reefs. In terms of plastic, we need to make sure to stop using single-use plastic when we can, and if we go into the ocean or near ocean and we see plastic, we need to make sure to pick it up, which I'm going to do after this video. I'm going to pick it up into the trash over there, because people are too lazy to. And if this was the ocean, that will live into the ocean for millions of years, never decompose, become microplastics, and start killing our coral reefs. We will make sure that we don't just dump trash like car batteries and bicycle locks into the ocean, which we can see right over here. And we need to make sure to create awareness on social media, online, on college campuses, even in elementary schools and high schools, so people can learn since they were kids to not pollute our oceans, and politicians and more people need to know about local human pollution, that this is a solvable issue, that this is something separate from climate change, and climate change is a much harder issue to solve. We can solve local pollution in 1 to 5 years in very simple and easy ways and save our coral reefs. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching this video.